Welcome to the second session of structure and life cycle of basidiomycetes. When we saw the structure of mature basidiocarp, they are umbrella shaped, they are attached to the substratum with the help of rhizomorph, which are the highly organized mycelium. The lower fleshy part is called stipe. The upper umbrella-like part is called pileus. Under the pileus you can see radiating regions called gills, and as these gills are located on the basal surface, the spore producing zone, gills are the spore producing zone or basidiospore producing zone. Because they are located on the underside, they are protected from rain and sunlight. So this is the view from the base. You can see gills are located like this. This is the position of stipe. So if you see the vertical section, this is the pileus, and on the lower surface you can see cavities called gills. Below that there is a portion called annulus, and this is the rhizomorph. If you examine this, the under portion of pileus, and this is the lower surface, a portion is enlarged. The gills are arranged like this. These portions, this kind of a portion is called a gill. It's a projection, or this is a lobe like region under the pileus. And if you take a longitudinal section of gill, in this diagram you can see this much portion is enlarged. When it is enlarged, you can see all these structures are formed of mycelia. All these portions are different kinds of mycelia. We already discussed about primary mycelia and secondary mycelia. Primary mycelia are the first formed mycelia by the germination of basidiospore. When the primary mycelia fuse together, they will form a dikaryotic mycelium, and this dikaryotic mycelia are called secondary mycelium. Now the secondary mycelia will be arranged in different patterns, or they are compactly arranged to become this rooting body. So gills are not an exception. Gills are also formed by the compact arrangement of secondary mycelia. And this is the portion of gill which is enlarged. If you see the enlarged portion, the middle portion is a sterile portion. The middle portion is a sterile portion. There the secondary mycelia are arranged in a pseudoparenchymatous fashion. Pseudoparenchyma means parenchyma are space filling living tissue in advanced plants. They are seen as a ground tissue. They are the compactly arranged cells. So though these are not parenchyma, these are mycelia, they are oriented in such a fashion that they look like some parenchyma like region. And this sterile middle portion is called trama. Next to trama, you can see loosely arranged mycelium, an area of loosely arranged mycelium, and such a region is called subhymenium. So there is middle portion is called a trama, which is sterile, and next to trama you can see a loosely arranged hyphal region. This loosely arranged hyphal region are called subhymenium, and after subhymenium you can see the arrangement of fertile zone. The region which produce spore are called fertile zone. See the mouse position. This is the fertile zone. And here you can see club shaped mycelial tip. These are all club shaped mycelial tip. And in between the club shaped mycelia, you can see some other hyphae also. See, all are not club shaped. You can see two kinds of cells here. See this. If you see the first mycelia, they are having two nuclei, like this, two nuclei. But if you see the third, this one, there you can see no nuclei. So these two are dikaryotic mycelium. They are secondary mycelium itself. So we discussed about a mycelia called tertiary mycelium in our previous session. Now what is tertiary mycelium? Just before forming, or the secondary mycelium during formation of this kind of fruiting bodies, they will aggregate to become a, or they will be compactly arranged, or the pattern of arrangement of secondary mycelium within the fruiting body or basidiocarp is called tertiary mycelium. Often tertiary mycelia are seen on the gill-like regions. Now, so if you see the outermost hymenium, the region hymenium, they are formed of two kinds of mycelia. The fertile mycelia called, which are club shaped and they can produce spores on the tip, they are called basidia. They are called basidia. The club shaped mycelia, see the enlarged view, these are basidia. These basidia will produce spores. Adjacent to basidia, there are some hyphae which are dikaryotic. These hyphae are sterile and they are called paraphyses. So paraphyses are the mycelia which separate the fertile mycelia. See, in paraphysis, the condition of nucleus is dikaryon, but if you see the club shaped basidium, already the dikaryotic mycelium, dikaryotic nucleus has fused to form a single nuclei. It will undergo meiosis and thus 4 haploid nuclei will be formed, and from that spores will be produced. Now, see the diagram. This is how a basidiospore is developed. This is the dikaryotic mycelium. The dikaryotic mycelium undergo fusion to form a diploid nucleus, and this diploid nucleus undergo meiosis. What is meiosis? Two kinds of cell division are there in plants. The plants are having two kinds of cells. All organisms are having two kinds of cells, the somatic cells and reproductive cells. Somatic cells are cells which are seen in a vegetative body, and reproductive cells are cells which are meant for reproduction. Often somatic cells are diploid and reproductive cells are haploid. As we all know, fungi are haploid plants. See, dikaryotic mycelium, when the two nuclei are present, they are called dikaryotic. When they fused, they become diploid nucleus. And due to meiosis, often due to meiosis is called reduction division. So the diploid condition will be converted to haploid condition. So the nucleus will be splitting into first into two during the first meiosis, followed by second meiosis, where these two nuclei again split into two. So 4 daughter nuclei are formed which are haploid. These 4 haploid daughter nuclei will be moving on to the projections called sterigmata. See, from the tip of the club shaped mycelia or basidium, small finger like projections will come, they are called sterigmata. Then from the sterigmata, they will become oval shaped to become a basidiospore. Each nuclei migrate to the spore, and finally a wall will be formed between from this spore and the basidium. Due to formation of these small walls, the spore will become independent, and thus these bodies function as basidiospores. So these basidiospores can do germination, can under favorable condition, these basidiomycetes will germinate, and thus primary mycelium will be formed. So we started from primary mycelium, now we ended up in basidiospore. Let's see the life cycle of this organism. This is what we learn now. Let's start from here. This is a basidiospore. by the germination of a basidiospore under favorable condition, a mycelia will be formed. These mycelia are called primary mycelium. Two primary mycelium fuse together to form secondary mycelium. The secondary mycelium is having two nuclei in each cell. That condition is called dikaryotic mycelium. Once dikaryotic mycelium is formed, they will grow under the soil, and once favorable condition come, the rhizomorphs will be formed. From the rhizomorph, button-like structures will be produced to the surface of the soil that will enlarge. Then they will form a structure with upper umbrella-like portion and a stalk. The portion is called a pileus, and this pileus is for the purpose of reproduction of fungi. This is they do for sexual reproduction. Under the pileus you can see a lot of opening called gills, and gills are the region where spores are produced. If you see the structure of a gill is having three zones: hymenium, subhymenium and trama, hymenium and subhymenium. Trama is sterile, subhymenium is also sterile, and hymenium is the fertile zone. If you see the hymenium, there are two kinds of filaments are there. One is called paraphysis and basidium. And in basidium, for formation of spore, this basidia, two nuclei, dikaryotic nuclei will fuse to form a synkaryon. They are diploid. They will undergo meiosis, and as a result of 4 haploid spores will be formed. The projections formed on the surface of basidia are called sterigmata. This nucleus migrate to sterigma, and finally they will form a 4 spores in each basidium, and these spores are haploid. Now these basidiospores will be liberated from the basidia and they are free, and during next favorable condition they will germinate. Like this life cycle will continue. This is how we are seeing the growth and development of mushroom in the environment, and they are growing, they are spreading by spore, and that is why during favorable condition they are dispersed in different regions. See the life cycle of agaricus. You can just see one more. See, starting from a spore, a primary mycelia will be formed. These are the spores, and from spore primary mycelia are formed. They fuse together to form the dikaryotic mycelium. From the dikaryotic mycelium, the plant body is formed, and after plant body, by fusion of nucleus will happen. So in the basidium, diploid condition will come. They will undergo meiotic division to form 4 haploid nuclei. So this is how the growth and life cycle, or growth of, and this is how growth of agaricus is happening, or life cycle of agaricus is continuing in the environment. So these fungi are one of the heterotrophic, one of the organisms which are having heterotrophic mode of nutrition. So they always need a suitable substrate with decaying waste material. So from one mushroom, enormous amount of spores will be produced, but only limited number of spores will be successful, because they should get a proper climatic condition and proper substratum, as they are heterotrophic organisms. And this is what we see in the nature. This is how nature is controlling the growth of these organisms. Only if they get a favorable condition, the spores will germinate. And how the spore is released? The spores are released maybe some from the basidium. Some species of agaricus, spores are released through water when they get humidity, and there are different methods of release of spores to the environment are there. So this is the life cycle and the structure of agaricus. And thank you very much for your patient listening.